Hi, I'm Gunnar Peterson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In my last video, I started talking about the gaining control, how I like to gain control over the horse's feet. I showed you on the ground how I like to teach them the beginning of connection between leg and rein cue. Now I'm going to get in the saddle, and I'm going to show you how I start to teach it in the saddle. And then I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what kind of response and what kind of control I like to have. And then later on I will promise that I'll break it down and take each part separately and teach you how to get there. So, on the ground, in the last video, we talked about how we connect the leg and the rein, how the horse needs to understand that the leg does not always only mean forward. When the leg is used together with some kind of rein cues, it means some other kind of move. This understanding between leg and rein cue becomes extremely important in ongoing training of the horse, particularly when it comes to training the gait. Then it's all about being able to control this horse in between your reins, in between your hands and your legs, and have a very good understanding between the connection between the leg and the rein. So I prefer to start this on a circle. I used to start this up against the wall, teach the horse to kind of move sideways while using the wall. But I've actually learned that the circle actually gives me the same, if not more, control, especially if I have a horse that knows how to bend. I feel like I have even more control and more positive control on the circle. It's less claustrophobic, and the horse always has a way out. And I can control the size of the circle depending on how hard it is for me to get the horse to understand this connection. So in other words, the more difficult the horse is, the smaller I can make the circle, therefore get more bend, and therefore get more control over it. But right now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to walk a circle, and walk the circle a few times. I'm going to get the horse used to where I'm going to be working. Then I'm going to have to slow the walk down. Slow the walk down. When I feel like he's listening to that, he's slowing the walk down, I'm going to push him with my left leg. And all I'm expecting is that he steps sideways. Really, in the beginning, I don't even care how he steps sideways. I just want to feel that he understood that when I slow him down, put some contact in his mouth, at the same time, right after I put some pressure on my left leg, that means that he should move sideways. The shoulder goes first, the hind end goes first. In the beginning, I don't really care. Later on, yes, I think it's very important that I have good control over if he's moving the front end or the hind end more or less. But in the beginning, I have to accept very little. So slow down, inside leg, he moves sideways, I go forward. Okay? Now, few basic things are very important. Inside leg, my left leg right now, that is the sideways driving leg. The right leg, my outside leg, that is the forward driving leg. So when I want to go sideways, it's my inside leg driving. When I'm done going sideways, I want to go forward, it's my outside leg driving. So, rein, slow him down and let him know that something is coming up. Inside leg tells him, okay, go sideways. Inside leg stops you driving, outside leg comes on, he should go forward. Inside leg sideways, outside leg forward. That's important. Now, what I like to be able to do, and this horse knows this quite well, is decide how much he goes from the front feet sideways and how much the back feet sideways. And now I'm going to slow it down again. And I'm going to then slow down the shoulder a little bit, move my hands a little bit to the inside so the outside rein kind of closes that shoulder here. And I'm going to ask him to move his hind feet around the front feet. Kind of like under the forehand. Not quite stopping the front feet, but he's kind of keeping them moving a little bit, that's good. And the hind legs are going around the front legs. Right? Now I'm kind of pivoting around. That's one thing I like to be able to do. I also like to be able to make sure it goes equally front and back. So it crosses over both hind feet and front feet. Or like a side pass. That's important too. Go your way a little bit. I also like to be able to try to make sure that I can move the front feet around the hind feet. So now I'm moving the front feet around the hind feet. Called turn on the forehead, turn on the haunches, right? Turn on the haunches. Did the turn on the forehead before. So now you can see I have pretty good control over his feet. I can move him sideways, like a side pass, more sideways. I can move him less sideways, so it's more like a leg yield. It's more like a 45 degrees. Just a little bit sideways, but even front and back. I can block or even stop the shoulder and move the hind feet around the front feet, more into like a turn on the forehead. So I stop the front end and I move the hind legs around. Like this. And I can then also move the front feet around the hind feet, something we call turn on the haunches. So this is what I call having control, gaining control, detailed control, being able to control the horse's feet, where he moves the front, where he moves the hind feet. Another thing I like to be able to do, and I consider a part of this, is being able to back up. So I need the horse to be able to stand backwards. There you go. Can I quietly? No, you can go more, you can go more. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. Come on. No. Now you kind of gave up on me. There you go, there you go. I like him to stay somewhat round, step backwards, quietly, but okay. That's not his favorite exercise. So it's good for him. Come on, buddy. A little bit more, a little bit more. A little bit more. There you go, good boy. So I can move his front feet around the hind feet. I can move the hind feet around the front feet. I can move equally sideways, front and back. And I can even control the angle, whether it's 45, more like this, or if it's like almost 90 degrees where he moves almost directly sideways. I can back him up. He understands that the inside leg means sideways now, the outside leg means forward, moves forward. Through all this, he's rather relaxed, he understands it, and he's okay with it. This, for me, is an extremely important beginning before I can start to help the horse get better in any way. If I have a stiff side, or have a weak back, or a stiff back, or whatever I have that I need to improve, usually with the goal of improving the gait, those tools, those controls are very, very important to be able to affect the way the horse goes. Some people will say to me when I do this, like, but I'm a trail rider, I'm a pleasure rider. I'm not a dressage rider. I'm not about to be competing in dressage. I know, not me either. But this is just like gymnastics for the horse. And again, before you will be able to help the horse, this is very, very important. I'm not saying this is the only way you can help the horse, but for me this is so fundamental to have those controls. Be able to control his feet, control his body. That is so much we can do to help the horse get better in whatever area we want him to get better. Is it just to make him more supple? Is it just to make him a little bit stronger and more fit? Or, like I said, in many cases, we then use those tools to improve our gait, make it more supple, the gait, make it more than the beat we want, make the horse better at carrying us at the gate for a longer time in a healthy way. These things are all things that are very important before we can start to do that. And it doesn't take as much as people think. It's not that complicated. If we build up the system, we build up the communication system and make sure the horse understands us along the way. We do it in small steps. Training a horse is just like walking up steps, one step at a time. So one today, another one tomorrow. It's very surprising to many people how quickly this happens. So again, this is like an overview of this control I like to have. I will then later on start to break this down into kind of controlling one leg at a time, so to speak, and walk you through how I teach it. But I think this is enough for now. See you next time.